Alright, I need to get this out of the way. I just got through completing Sonic Frontiers Update 3. I just got through completing that. Spoiler warnings, because obviously it's going to be like the third day it was released, so spoiler warnings. The game was both terrible and amazing at the same time. I'm gonna go through what was good. I'm gonna go through what was good. Okay, so the other characters, Tails, Amy's, and Knuckles, they were pretty good. All right, there was some jank with this, some oddities played. Like for instance, like only Tails couldn't do the homing attack, even though everyone else could. It was kind of, it felt weird trying to do the homing attack when then you tanked. It was kind of weird, but you know, it was nothing that you couldn't get used to. I don't know if it was just my controller, but I think all the characters had kind of like a drift to them. Like they kind of kept, they didn't stop on a dime like Sonic would. Again, I don't know if it was my controller or not. So yeah, why am I saying the good stuff? All right, I'm talking about the good stuff, and these are just the bad parts of what was good. Anyways, Knuckles. I will say with Knuckles, his gliding was kind of weird. It was hard to get used to gliding. But you know, it was just weird with this gliding. But yeah, everything else was pretty good. The way they controlled, the way they moved, it was really good. I like how with Tails you can basically break where you can go. Freaking, you can use the infinite stamina thing by drawing the infinity sign with the side loop. And then you can just fly around in the tornado. I kind of like that. But yeah, I like how that with Amy they brought back the tarot cards thing. This was something that obviously was everyone knew about when the leaks were released. But I really did like how the tarot cards was put into the game. Like how they used it. It was pretty good. Knuckles, it was just the same old Knuckles as you would play in like in Adventures 1 and 2. Again, with the exception of his gliding, it felt slippery. I think that's the best term. It felt slippery with the gliding, but you know, that was about it. I did like the cyber level. Cyber levels? I forgot what they're called. But then again, I can't really say anything about that because I only played one level. Which is another thing. You don't have to play any of the levels. You're not cyberspace. That's what they're called. You don't have to play any of the cyberspace levels. Now, unlike with the main game, you kind of have to play the cyberspace level if you want to quickly get through the. If you want to get a bunch of the keys pretty quickly. But with this one, you just need the Cocos for the trials for Sonic, and you can easily find them with any characters. And they're not really that hidden. They're just in the treasure space where you need a side loop. You can easily find them there. So yeah, I only did one level and one mission. That's about it. And you know, I had enough keys to do all the trials. Speaking of the trials, I can't really say that they were good. Well, at least the first four, I can't really say they were good. I mean, I was okay with the difficulty for the trials, but that's about it. Now, as for the bad part, when I say it's bad, it was fucking terrible. It was fucking terrible. Where's my angry face? There. It was fucking terrible. It was fucking terrible. How... It was just terrible, especially the last one, the freaking one you need to not only switch the characters whenever you want, but to freaking do the final boss, to do the final battle, which that is also a problem in itself. But you know, we're talking about the final trial first. Again, like I said, I didn't have a problem with any of the other trials. When it came to the fucking, I don't know where to begin. It was so fucking difficult. Like, honestly, I felt like crying. That's how difficult it was. I felt like crying. I basically had a tiny psychotic breakdown. Like that. I had a small psychotic breakdown because of how difficult it was. Now keep in mind, I switched it to easy and I still had that psychotic breakdown. I'm probably used to psychotic breakdown is probably not the right word, but freaking that's the best way I can describe it. Again, it's most likely not the right word. So freaking yeah, I don't know words. I don't know words. So take when I use words like that with a grain of salt. But yeah, let me start off with the first part, which is the first bit in the trial. This one comes with all of the trials. Sonic's stats are set, meaning any stats that you already have on Sonic is null and void. Every single stats that Sonic has is all set to 1, which is it's just annoying, but you know, I didn't have a problem with it in the first 4. But this one, it just basically, it was basically the bosses were just freaking damage sponge. I literally had to abuse the stomp to quickly drain the health of each of the bosses. And with how many times I have died in there, it basically made me hate the freaking bosses. As you know, with Frontier, the bosses was one of the best parts of the game. With spectacle, with music, it was so good. But with this fucking trial, it made me hate the bosses so much. I'm not gonna say that it made the bosses the worst thing. Right now, I'm still hot off the press of just beating the fucking game. So yeah. The next thing, which is really fucking annoying. The next thing was really fucking annoying. I like the challenge that this one poses. But mixed with the last one, it was so fucking hard. Mix this one with mix this one with the first one and this last one. It just made it fucking almost impossible on hard. Again, I had to switch to the fucking easy to beat it. The other one was that your ring count was also set, and it was set to 400. Again, I didn't mind that. I liked the challenge that I could have imposed. But again, mix that with the freaking stats being all set to 1, the bosses being damage sponges. You basically don't have enough time to do it. Now the last part, I fucking hate it, especially since you were not conditioned for this in the game. You needed to, the only way to parry is that it had to be a perfect parry. You cannot, the entire game, there was no timing when it came to your parry. You could freaking just hang in the air for as long as you want just by holding parry. But with this one, you had to fucking time it perfectly. Again, this is on hard mode. When I switched it to easy, it was more difficult. But I still had trouble. I lost a couple of. I had to reset a bunch of times, mainly because of the freaking stats. You're set to 1 damage sponges, obviously. But when you had the freaking perfect parry, even though you were conditioned that you didn't have any timing for the parry, it was impossible to do that. Honestly, because the bosses became damage sponges in this trial, honestly, I felt like any of the cool spectacle, like the cutscenes and all that, it was just an annoyance. It really made what would have been just a minor flaw really in the forefront. It was just such an annoyance, especially when you have to keep resetting and resetting. I fucking hated every fucking cutscene in that. That's why I said it's fucking terrible. Now let's fucking talk about the final boss. Honestly, I was surprised that they did not freaking increase the difficulty for Supreme. I was surprised by that. But you know, I'm glad that they didn't, because when you had to fight the end, oh boy, I'm getting pissed again. But yeah, when you have to fight the end, the way you have to freaking fight it in the first phase. There's like many phases and whatnot and blah 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 blah. I wouldn't really call them phases, but parts. I'm gonna say parts. The way you have to do the first part in this fight, it was so fucking cryptic. It was so fucking cryptic. Basically, when you fight the end, the end connects to Supreme. So when you freaking fight Supreme, when you're trying to fight Supreme, the end is when you're trying to fight him, the boss is constantly healing. You need to disconnect Supreme from the end, or from the fake moon. They call it a fake moon. You need to separate Supreme from the fake moon in order for your damage to stick. Add on the fact that the projectiles that they fire at you drops your ring count. Drops not only your max ring, but if your max ring is on par with the freaking ring count that you have, it basically takes it with you. It basically takes those with you, and it drops it by I think 30 rings per hit. Now this wouldn't be an issue if the freaking power up that Sonic had, as people were calling it Super Sonic 2, I would have made a freaking rant about that, but it wouldn't be. But you know, I was late on that, so yeah. With the power up it brought back the fucking perfect parry that was in the freaking final trial. At least with this one, you had a little bit more leeway than with the fucking final trial. It still wasn't, but it was still freaking hard to do. Now to beat the freaking first part, you had to hit once and dodge in order so you can attack the thing that connects Supreme to the end. How are you supposed to figure that shit out? That is so fucking cryptic. When it mentioned that you had a perfect parry, I thought, you know, maybe I need a perfect parry all of the shots that it gives me, because it fires 5 of those freaking ring drain projectiles. It fired 5 of those. I thought you needed to freaking do a perfect 5 parry, but no, you just needed to attack and freaking dodge and freaking sidestep so you can attack the back of the head. Again, how are you supposed to fucking know that? Of course, after you lose the first time, you get some battle guidance from the Elder Coco, or the Master Coco, who basically lets you swap out your character, which is a minor complaint, but at least it's just a minor complaint, but you know, whatever. But yeah. Anyway, he gives you freaking battle guidance. I don't know if you complete each cyberspace level, the guidance becomes more clear. But yeah, the guidance that I had, it was freaking cryptic. It was cryptic as hell. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, after I was able to get, anyway, yeah, that was the main issue. That was the main issue with the freaking Supreme bot with the end. Honestly, it really was. That was the main issue. Once you figure that out, the main issue now is just the perfect parry. Which again, you were never conditioned to timing for your parry, so it made it really fucking difficult. And another freaking annoyance is that every time you lose to the end, you have to fight Supreme first, and then you have to and then you can fight the end. So freaking annoying. I couldn't even enjoy it. I was honestly jaded. I could not feel anything by the time I beat it. It was mainly due to the freaking final trial. Yeah, I would say after the final trial, I unwind a little bit. Obviously, unlocking the rest of the map with the other characters and, you know, listening to the other dialogues and whatnot. But, you know, yeah, while that gave me some freaking rest from the main game, the freaking bosses, it was so annoying. even the overworld bosses that you would fight, they were more damage sponges. They were damage sponges, and you freaking took a lot of damage. You lose basically almost all your rings from getting hit with the other characters. It was, yeah, it was just, yeah. I did like the music for the other characters. Amy's was my favorite. But yeah, again, I couldn't even enjoy any of the music. I couldn't enjoy the music, at least at the final ending. The remix, I noticed that they were slightly remixes, but I couldn't enjoy it like I wanted to. Yeah. Yeah. Be cautious when you're doing the final thing. So yeah. Just be cautious. Take breaks. Don't do what I did and force yourself to do it. So yeah. Fireblade here. And I will see you later. Whatever I make. Bye. You don't get the sparkles this time. No sparkles.